why being cheap keeps you from being rich. I learned a lesson from somebody, a successful man once. He said, only go on 2-day vacations. Don't ever have the poverty mindset that if you flew down somewhere, you might as well make it worth your while, get the biggest bang for your buck, and book a bunch of other days of hotels because, hey, you already paid for the flight. He said, the reason why you don't do that is because you're not making money while you're on vacation. Work hard, play hard, but don't play for long. Then go back and make more money. Just go play for enough to clear your mind and feel good about yourself. Well, that actually really stuck with me. And quite frankly, now I've adopted it. But what I'm going to talk today is about being cheap. It's like a poverty mindset. Imagine this. You go to a football game. Everybody's there. It's a potluck. People are bringing things. How do you feel about the person that shows up with nothing and you watch them shoving everything into their pie hole, eating everybody else's hard work and hard-earned money, but they didn't bring anything? You're probably more than likely not willing to want to talk to that person or to help them out, right? Well, that's what we all do as we start to strive to build wealth. I was guilty of this myself. In my greatest efforts of saving money, what I found myself was becoming cheap, and I was viewed as being cheap. And so what I did was I started to change the way that I felt about saving money. And I looked at every time I spent money and broke away from that cheapness as an opportunity to learn more about life and other people. Let me give an example. Let's go back to the football scenario. And I'm going to put myself in this. There would be times in the past where I would maybe get a 12-pack of soda or a bag of chips and some dip, and I would bring it to an event where people spent tons of time and money on food. I would have no problem eating what I brought and what they brought. And I started to learn that when I took some time and put some effort into it, and of course, I actually, because of this and because I was trying to save money, I went to less events, all right? But the ones that I went to, I spent time and really prepared what I was making. I know this sounds crazy because you're going, how is this a financial conversation? Well, this is what happened. I spent a lot of time learning how to make special things, and I made it a big deal, and it was fun, and I came with my best. I showed up with my best, and conversations changed. I met people that I normally would not have met. Now, this is when I was really young. I learned this at a young age, in my early 20s, and I'm glad I learned it then and not in my 40s, because another successful told me once, nobody likes a cheapskate. Nobody. And it stuck with me. And so what I started to do was I started to break out of the poverty mindset. Like my one friend told me about, hey, just because you bought the plane ticket doesn't mean you need to blow a bunch of money on other hotel rooms. It's a poverty mindset. It's that cheap sort of mindset. It changed everything for me. And again, like I said, I backed off from going to every birthday party, to every social event. And what I did is I saved up, and the ones that I went to that I chose because of the crowd there, the people that I would want to associate myself with, that I could learn from, that could impact my life, I wanted to bring my best. And it paid off. And it sounds funny because I don't think I've ever really heard anyone talk about this on the internet, but I think it needs to be said. We all at some level are more than others, and I have a problem with this, deal with FOMO, the fear of missing out. You get invited to an event and you just got to go. I was the guy that always showed up like 10 minutes early because I didn't want to miss anything. But I look back now on my failures and my successes, and if I would have simply chose the events that I went to better and set aside the FOMO, how much better would my life have been because of the contacts I would have made, the friendships I would have made? There's so much to it. If I would have just taken a step back, not had that cheap mentality, chose the events that I went to better, and brought my best. When you bring your best, sometimes it gets thrown back in your face. It doesn't work out the way you want. But more times than not, you walk away going, I'm glad I did it, and I saw the benefit in doing it. I hope you got something from this one. It's a little different, but it hits home with me because I've had a problem with this. I changed the way that I do things. To be honest, some days are harder than others, but every day I want to walk away from being cheap and I want to become useful, helpful, giving. And that will come back 10 times in life.